the shape of a square. He has 4 equal right-angled triangle lawns and a small square patio in the centre. Find the length of the hypotenuse of each one. So it's a 12 by 5 triangle, 12 across and 12 down, 5 across. So we're going to use Pythagoras' theorem to find basically the length of the square, which is this line here, if you will. So basically we're finding this green line here, and it's the same length because it's a square. It's the same length all the way around. So this should be easily enough done. So we get x squared equals 12 squared plus 5 squared. X squared will equal, put down the calculator, you get 169. Square root of 169, you get 13. Find the area of one of the triangular lawns. Well, it's a half base times height, which is going to be a half 5 times 12. Put that into your calculator, you'll get 30 meters squared. Okay. Question 3. Find the area of the square patio in the middle. Well, we already know it's a square, it's 13 by 13. So multiply length by width, you get 13 multiplied by 13, which is 169 meters squared. The patio is to be paved with rectangular flagstones of length 8 and width 5. So please remember to turn that into meters, because everything you've done so far is in meters. So it's 0.8 by 0.5, and if you put that into the calculator, you can get the area of one of these flagstones as 0.4 meters squared, which is 0.8 by 0.5, which is 0.4 meters squared. Liam needs the boy to cover the patio. So the patio is 169 meters. So the amount of flagstones you need is area of patio divided by area of one flagstone. So the area of the patio is 169. The area of the flagstone is 0.4. So 169 divided by 0.4 is 422.5 flagstones. But we need to include an extra 20%, so I'm going to multiply that by 120% to include the extra flagstones. 20, so that increases it by 20%. You get 507 flagstones. Okay, all good. Now we're straight on to question 7. I believe it's a Venn diagram. So 54 people in total. So let's make our 3 ovals. Okay. Conservative, Liberals and Republicans. Okay. Try and start in the middle if you can. 5 have voted for all 3 parties, so there's 5 in the middle. 8 have voted for Conservatives and for Republicans. Conservative and Republicans has to add to 8, so that has to be 3, because 5 plus 3 is 8. 9 had voted for Liberals and for the Republicans. Liberals and Republicans, so that'll begin here, so that'll be 9 in total, so that'll be 5 plus 4 to give you 9. 12 have voted for Conservatives and the Liberals, so that'd be 7, because 7 plus 5 is 12. Okay, now we have to figure out how many people voted for Conservatives only. Well, it's 30 people. Take away 7, take away 5, take away 3, which should be 15 people. Okay, then the next one is 22, take away 5, take away 4, take away 7. So 22 take away 5 is 17. 17 take away 4 is 13. 13 take away 7 is 6. And Republicans out. Sorry, that's. Sorry, my fault. Oh, it's 22 for both of them. No, I'm actually good. So that is 6 people. Yeah, I'm right. And then finally for Republicans, there's 22 of them. Take away 3. Take away 5 and take away 4. So 9, take away 12 is 10. Now I'm going to add all these up together just to see if I definitely get 54 people. Might be worth checking that out. 15 plus 7 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6 plus 4 plus 10. 50 people. So that means 4 people voted for none of them. So we might want to consider that outcome as well, that 4 people didn't vote for any of these guys, okay? So, if one person chose random, what's the probability of a person did not vote in any of the 3 elections? Well, that would be 4 out of 54. 4 out of 54 is the same as 2 out of 27. If one person is chosen random, what's the probability that that person chosen voted for at least 2 different parties? 2 different parties would be adding at least 2, so 7, 3, 5 and 4, all these numbers here, because these are the ones that added to 7 is 2 of them, 5 is people who voted for 3 of them, 3 is people who voted for Conservatives and Republicans, and 4 is people who voted for Liberals and Republicans. So at least 2 if you look at the language of the question, or at least 2 different parties. That means you can vote for 2 or 3 parties to be included. Press equals and you get 19 out of 54. I think 19 out of 54 just stays the same. Yep, that's all the same. If one person is chosen at random, what's the probability that the person chosen voted for the same party in all 3 elections? What's the probability that these will be people that only voted for for the same party? So this 15 only vote Conservative, 6 only vote Liberal, and 10 only vote Republican. So it's 10 plus 6 plus 15 over 54. Which is 31 over 54. Okay. Next one, bisect an angle. So, just gonna get out my compass really quickly. One, 2, 3, 4. Then you can bisect this angle. Bisect of angle means you cut the angle in half and you're done. Okay, that was easy. Didn't take 5 minutes, took like 30 seconds. Now next one. Remember my CX factor, alternate angles where Z are an N, X where you have vertically opposite angles, and elongated F for the correspondent angles. Okay, so these ones are the same because they're correspondent, these ones are the same because they're vertically opposite, and these ones are the same because they're alternate. Okay, so let's find out. Well, what we can say is that this is 115. That makes this one 115. So 180 take away 40 take away 115 because it has to add up to a straight angle. So 180 take away 155. 25. Okay, and then alpha equals 25 degrees. Okay, now for beta, we know that 115 is corresponding to the other 115 because it's the same line, and then beta is vertically opposite that other 115, so B will equal 115. Now the other thing we forget about is the C. Okay, these are what's called sum of 2 interior angles. Okay, and the sum for 2 interior angles means that the blue angle plus the red angle has to equal 180 degrees because you add both angles together to get 180. So this means that if this is the red angle, This one here has to be the blue angle, and that will be 65. This one's 115. Okay. Now, it's just a fluke that the two of these are the same because it's not a cyclic quadrilateral, alright, so it's a regular quadrilateral. So to get gamma, we're going to take everything away from 360. So it's going to be 360, take away 65, take away 115, and take away another 115. $65, which is unusual, but is what it is. Okay. So, oh wait, gamma. Sorry guys, I made a mistake there. This ain't 50, beta ain't 15, okay? I made a mistake with that one. My fault completely. It's not corresponding. It's a different line, so sorry, that doesn't correspond. I'm wrong. Okay, so sorry guys, just gonna go through this one again. Just a mistake there. So what we're gonna say is that if you look at the triangle, gamma plus 115, so 25 plus gamma plus 115 actually has to equal 180 degrees. So y plus 140 equals 180, and gamma, sorry, will equal 40 degrees. That's my bad. See the way it's a big triangle? The triangle I'm using is this triangle here. Okay, that's the triangle I'm using. Okay, so gamma equals 40 degrees. Okay, next one. We have a cyclic quadrilateral here, so we have a quadrilateral, so we should be able to figure out what B is. So B is 360, take away 115, take away 65, because that's the interior angle, take away 40. See all four angles here, so angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4 all have to add up to 360 degrees. So take them away, so 360, take away 115, take away 65, take away 40, and you get 140 degrees. Okay, perfect. Let's move on. So that's question 9. So I've done 1, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm doing 11. These are similar triangles. So mark off this as angle 1. Mark the obtuse one as angle 2. Okay. So in between angle 1 and we'll call this last one angle 3. In between angle 1 and angle 3 is 25 and the other one's 15. So the large triangle divided by the small, we're going to compare corresponding sides. So 25 is corresponding to 15. So this means that this triangle here, if you divide 25 divided by 15, this one's 5 over 3 times bigger. So if you multiply the small triangle by 5 over 3, each length multiplied by 5 over 3, you turn it into the large triangle. So this means we can turn 6, we can multiply 6 by 5 over 3. And what it will do is it will turn it into x. Okay, so 6 multiplied by 5 over 3. 5 over 3 multiplied by 6 is 10. So x equals 10. And that's just a multiply sign. 5 multiplied by 5 over 3. Okay, and now we've done 11. Next one. Coordinate geometry. Put down the following points. A is 3, 6. B is minus 6, 0. And C is 4, minus 2. Find the coordinates of D, the midpoint of A to B. Use the midpoint formula, which is x1 plus x2 over 2. y1 plus y2 over 2. AB, so x1, y1. B is x2, y2. So 3 plus minus 6 over 2. And then the other one is y1 plus y2, so 6 plus 0 divided by 2. Minus 3 over 2, and 6 over 2 is 3. Minus 1.5 and 3. So that's the midpoint there. Okay, and that will be D. Minus 1.5 and 3. Now let's move on to the next question after that. Find the equation of the line AB. So we're going to need the slope. We're going to need m equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, and then we're going to throw it into the formula y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. Okay, so A is 3, 6, and B is 3, 6 for x1, y1, minus 6, 0 for x2, y2. Let's put it into the formula here. Get my calculator ready to go. Okay, y2 is 0. So we put 0 there. Take away x2, which is, take away y1, which is 6. And then finally x2, which is minus 6. Take away x1, which is minus 3. And we get a slope of 2 over 3. 0, 6, minus 6, and 3. And we get a slope of 2 over 3. Now what 2 over 3 means is 3 blocks across for every 2 blocks up. And we can sort of check that answer, can't we? 3 across 2 up, 3 across 2 up. Yep, that works perfectly. Okay, we now have the slope. Now we can do the equation of line formula. You can either choose line point A or point B to represent x1, y1 because they're both on the same line. Okay, division of 3 on the right is multiplication of 3 on the left, so it's 3y minus 18 because 3 times y, 3 times 6. 2 times x and 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. Move everything to one side and we get minus 2x plus 3y, and then you get minus 18 plus 6, which is minus 12 equals 0. Multiply both sides by minus 2x minus 3y plus 12 equals 0. Okay. Find the equation of the line through C that's perpendicular to A and B. So we need to find a line that's perpendicular to AB but goes through C. So this is, I'm drawing a line perpendicular to AB, roughly 90 degrees, and it also has to go through C. Well, it's going to have a slope of, the slope of AB was 3 across 2 up, which is a slope of 2 over 3. Turn that upside down to make it perpendicular, and it's 3 over 2. But it's got to be minus 3 over 2 because it's a negative slope, because it's going downwards. So slope is minus 3 over 2. You don't have to do that, by the way, that's wrong. So slope M perpendicular is minus 3 over 2. Goes through the point C, and the point C is, what is it, 4 minus 2. And now we'll be able to form this equation of this line quite quickly. So it's going to be y minus minus 2 equals minus 3 over 2 into x minus 4. And that's going to be y plus 2. We're going to multiply by 2 to get 2y plus 4. Going to multiply into minus 3x. Move it to the left. And we get 3x plus 2y. 4 take away 12 is minus 8 equals 0. E is the point where this perpendicular line through C intersects AB. Find the coordinates of the point E. Let E be the point where this perpendicular C intersects AB. Okay, so you want to find out where this green line intercepts the black line. Now I have it drawn so damn good that I know it's going to be 0, 4, but I'm meant to do a simultaneous equation to find that answer, okay? So I'm going to take the answer of the equation line AB. See this 2x minus 3y equals plus 12, so I'm going to change that to, sorry, 2x minus, was it? 2x minus 3y plus 12. So it's 2x minus 3y. It was plus 12 equals 0. But that plus 12 is going to move over the other side to become minus 12 because I want to set it up like a simultaneous equation. I'm expecting the answer of 0, 4. X equals 0, y equals 4. We'll find out in a second. Next one, I'm going to move the 8 over the other side. So we have 3x plus 2y equals 8. Multiply the top equation by 2, the bottom equation by 3. So we're going to get 4x minus 6y equals minus 24. And then on the bottom we're going to get 9x plus 6y equals 24. Add downwards, 13x equals 0, and as predicted, x equals 0. Sub it into, I'll call it equation B. 3 times 0 is 0. 2y equals 8. This implies that y equals 4 is the point 0, 4, which we already knew. So 1, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. Oh, then we have another part. Is this the question that keeps giving? Now we got to do which is longer, CD or C to E. So if we go back to our equation just to picture what's going on. I think this is the point E. And it wants to know whether C to D or C to E is longer. So it wants to know whether the, I suppose we'll put it into different colors, wants to know whether the red line, wants to know whether this red line is longer than this blue one I'm going to do in a second, hopefully. Is the red line longer than the blue line? Let's find out. So what do we need from this? We need to know what C, D, and E are. So C is 4 minus 2, and and D is the point 3 over 2, 3, and E is the point 0, 4. And we're going to have to do the distance formula several times to get these answers. One sec. Control G. Then we're going to copy and paste this information where we need it on part A. So we're going to use the distance formula, which is D equals square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Now we're going to do CD first. And C to D, we can call this one x1, y1, and call this one x2, y2. And then we put them into the calculator here. So it's going to be 3 over 2, take away 4 squared, plus 3 minus minus 2, which will be 3 plus 2. So minus minus 2 is plus 2 squared. Put that into the calculator. Five root 5 over 2, otherwise known as 5.59. And the third form would have been 5 root 5 over 2. Okay, now we're going to do CE. They both look very similar in length, it's got to be said. Now, this time E is x2, y2. So it's going to be 0, take away 4 squared. And then it's going to be 4 take away 2 squared. 4 minus 2, so 4 plus 2 squared. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So square root 0 take away 4 squared, plus 4 plus 2 squared, 2 root 13, otherwise known as 7.2. So we know that CD is shorter. Okay. So that's 1, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, and now 14. And we're also going to do 15 as well. Happy days. Okay. A solid hemisphere has a radius of 12 centimeters. Find the volume of the hemisphere. Well, volume of a full sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. We can just half the answer when we're done, or you can use 2/3 pi r cubed, whichever one you want. I'll probably just do 2/3, so 2/3 pi times 12 cubed. Once again, get the calculator out. 2/3 shift pi 12 cubed, and you get 1152 pi. Okay, good job. B. A solid cone of radius 4 and height 12 is cut from the hemisphere. Calculate the volume of the cone. Well, volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. It's going to be 1/3 pi 4 squared times 12. So we put that in here, 1/3 pi 4 squared 12. 64 pi. The remaining metal in the hemisphere is melted down and recast into cones of the same dimensions as the cone above. How many cones can be formed from the remaining metal? Well, the remaining metal is 1152 pi. So there's 1152 pi, take away the 64 pi we already cut out. So there's 1088 pi. Now, it's basically remaining metal divided by volume of remaining metal divided by volume of one cone. Should tell us how many cones we can make out of the rest of it. So we have 10,088 pi centimeters cubed of metal to use. Each cone gives 64 pi. So it's essentially 1088 pi divided by 64 pi. You can always cancel the pi's if you want. And gives me 17 cones. 17 cones remain. Okay. That's alright. So I'm going to deal with that in a second. Now we're on to 15. The dimensions of two solid cylinders are shown diagram below. Calculate the ratio of the curved surface area of the smaller cylinder compared to the larger cylinder. Now, two ways of doing this, alright? The first way you can do is curved surface area is pi 2 pi RH, alright? So for the smaller one, we'll call this area 1 for the curved area of the small one, and area 2 for the curved surface area of the second cone. So what you could do is A1 is 2 pi RH, because R is the radius, H is the height. For the second one, it's going to be 2 pi, the radius is 2R, and the height is 2H. So in this case for A2, it's going to be 2 by 2 by 2, which is 8 pi RH. And the ratio of the smaller one to the larger one is 2 pi RH is to 8 pi RH. Knock off pi RH on both sides, it's 2 to A, which is 1 is to 4. Okay, so that's question A done. Question, is there a part B to that? Calculate the ratio of the volume of the smaller cylinder compared to the larger cylinder. All right, so the volume of the smaller cylinder is pi r squared h. The volume, we call V1 the volume of the small cylinder, and V2 the volume of the larger cylinder. So in V2, you got to replace R with 2R to be squared, and H with 2H. And once again, we're going to get V equals pi. What's it going to be? This time it's going to be 8 plus 2 squared by 2. So that's 4r squared by 2h, which is 8 pi r squared h for V2. So the ratio that follows V2 to V1 is pi r squared h is to 8 pi r squared h. Cancel the pi r squared h's, and you get a ratio of 1 is to 8. Alright guys, that's us. So just make sure I pull up the video.